Patrick Mahomes is not just playing in the Super Bowl this weekend, he's redefining what it means to be a quarterback. But his path to NFL stardom wasn't always paved with praise. In fact, many doubted he could even become a reliable starter in the NFL. This is the story of how Patrick Mahomes went from an overlooked draft prospect to the face of the NFL. Patrick Mahomes was born on September 17, 1995 in Tyler, Texas. From an early age, he seemed destined for greatness, but not necessarily on the football field. His father, Pat Mahomes, was a Major League Baseball pitcher, and young Patrick Mahomes grew up around professional sports, often hanging out in MLB locker rooms. It was there he first learned the value of discipline, preparation, and what it took to compete at the highest level. But life was not always easy. Patrick's parents divorced when he was young, and he witnessed the challenges that came with a split family. His father also faced legal troubles later in life, adding more complexity to Patrick's upbringing. In high school, Mahomes was a multi-sport athlete, excelling in football, basketball, and baseball. He even threw a no-hitter in high school while striking out 16 batters in a single game. Despite his success on the diamond, Patrick's heart belonged to football. And by his senior year, he threw for over 4,600 yards, ran for over 900, and accounted for 65 total touchdowns. Colleges noticed, but he wasn't seen as that can't-miss prospect. He was ranked only a 3-star athlete coming out of high school, receiving offers from Texas Tech, Rice, and Houston. And he eventually committed to Texas Tech University, staying close to home. At Texas Tech, Mahomes quickly became known for his ability to make plays that no one else would even attempt. He threw sidearm, across his body, and sometimes off his back foot. Plays that left fans in awe and coaches shaking their heads. And in his sophomore year, he took over as the full-time starter. And by his junior year, he was rewriting the record books. In one unforgettable game against an Oklahoma team led by former first overall pick Baker Mayfield, Mahomes passed for 734 yards and accounted for 819 total yards, a single game NCAA record. Despite these insane numbers, Texas Tech still struggled as a team, going 5-7 that year. Scouts wondered if Mahomes' flashy style could even translate to the NFL, especially since Texas Tech quarterbacks often struggled at the next level. When Mahomes declared for the 2017 NFL Draft, opinions on him were split. His draft profile highlighted his inconsistent approach, impatience, and willingness to default to playground-style football. Scouts were worried about his decision-making, his mechanics, and his ability to play within a structured offense. One critique even said he had a ravenous appetite for the explosive play. Others noticed his narrow base and tendency to leave the pocket prematurely. He was seen as a boom or bust prospect. At the NFL Combine, Mahomes turned heads with his arm strength, throwing a 60-mile-per-hour pass, the fastest of any quarterback that year. But the question still lingered. Could he succeed against NFL defenses? Mahomes wasn't projected to be a top 5 pick. Many analysts believed he would fall to the mid to late first round or even the second round. But one team saw his potential: the Kansas City Chiefs. Head coach Andy Reid and GM Brett Veach were convinced Mahomes was their guy. Despite having a solid starter in Alex Smith, the Chiefs ended up making the bold move, trading up from the 27th pick to the 10th overall pick in a deal with the Buffalo Bills. They gave up their first-round pick, a third-round pick, and their 2018 first-round pick to land Mahomes, which the Chiefs were criticized across the media. But little did they know it would be the best move the Chiefs have ever made. In his rookie season, Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith, learning the nuances of Andy Reid's complex offense. That year of development proved to be invaluable. When Mahomes finally took the reins in 2018, the NFL wasn't ready for what was coming. In his first season as a starter, Mahomes threw for 5,097 yards and 50 touchdowns, becoming just the second player in NFL history to achieve that feat. He was named NFL MVP and led the Chiefs to an AFC Championship game, where they narrowly lost to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Mahomes' style, once criticized as playground football, was now celebrated as revolutionary. His ability to make off-schedule throws, read defenses, and stay calm under pressure redefined what an NFL quarterback could be. The following season, Mahomes led the Chiefs to their first Super Bowl victory in 50 years, overcoming a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter against the 49ers. He was named Super Bowl MVP, cementing his status as a generational talent. But the road to greatness doesn't come without challenges that everybody seems to forget, but let me remind you of those challenges. In 2021, Mahomes faced Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Super Bowl LV. Despite his best efforts, the Chiefs were overwhelmed by a relentless Buccaneers defense, losing 31-9. Mahomes played through a turf toe injury and spent most of the game under pressure. Even in defeat, everyone knew that it wasn't his fault they lost and knew that Mahomes would be back. That loss became a defining moment not only in Patrick Mahomes' career, but in the Kansas City Chiefs franchise. Mahomes and the Chiefs retooled their offensive line the following season, determined to never let him face that kind of pressure again. They even traded their best wide receiver Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins. And once again, everyone doubted the Chiefs, but it paid off. In 2022, Mahomes led the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl on a high ankle sprain. But once again, against the Philadelphia Eagles, they faced a 10-point deficit. And Mahomes orchestrated a brilliant comeback to secure another Super Bowl victory with a game-winning drive. He was once again named Super Bowl MVP for the second time. The story once again repeated itself in 2023, but this time with arguably his greatest Super Bowl run ever. After only securing the number 3 seed in the AFC, everyone once again doubted Mahomes and the Chiefs. The media and fans were saying this was the worst Chiefs team they have ever seen under Mahomes, and there was no way they were making the Super Bowl with the road they had ahead. They beat the Miami Dolphins in the wild card round in dangerous freezing temperatures. Then they went on the road against the number 2 seed Buffalo Bills in one of the craziest environments in football, where in the divisional round, they won to secure another AFC championship game under Mahomes. The Chiefs traveled to Baltimore against one of statistically the greatest teams we've ever seen based off DVOA, including the number 1 ranked defense, and the Ravens' first AFC championship game at home in their franchise's history. It looked like they weren't fazed at all, winning 17-10 and securing another Super Bowl appearance. And in the Super Bowl, in the same fashion they've done every single year, they did it again. Mahomes overcame yet another 10-point deficit in the Super Bowl to lead the Chiefs to victory. And the comparisons to Tom Brady were just beginning. But I think a lot of people forget the outside noise that Mahomes has had to deal with throughout his entire career. His family has been a frequent topic of conversation in the media. His brother Jackson Mahomes has faced legal troubles, including 3 felony charges for aggravated sexual battery related to accusations that he grabbed a woman by the neck and kissed her against her will in a Kansas restaurant in February 2023. He was sentenced to 6 months probation for assaulting the woman, and he's dealt with criticism for his social media antics. And his dad was arrested for driving under the influence in Texas just days before last year's Super Bowl. And even his wife, Brittany, has been scrutinized for her outspoken support of Patrick and the Chiefs and her support of President Donald Trump. Despite the noise, Mahomes has stayed focused, often addressing the distractions with grace and choosing to focus strictly on football. As of now, Patrick Mahomes' accomplishments have been nothing short of extraordinary. He's a 2-time NFL MVP, 3-time Super Bowl MVP. He's made 7 consecutive AFC championship appearances, appearances. He had 5 consecutive seasons with at least 4,000 passing yards and 35 plus touchdowns. The youngest quarterback to throw for 10,000 yards in postseason play. And if he wins the Super Bowl this weekend against the Eagles, this is what he could potentially have on his record. The first quarterback to ever three-peat. If the Chiefs fall behind by 10 plus points again, he would have 4 Super Bowl wins in which his team has trailed by at least 10 points. All other quarterbacks in NFL history have just 4 such wins combined. If he wins Super Bowl MVP, he will join Shaquille O'Neal and Michael Jordan as the only players to win a championship MVP in 3 consecutive seasons. And that's among all players in the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL history. Mahomes would also join Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and LeBron James as the only players in NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL history with at least 4 championship MVPs. Each game, he continues to build a legacy that will be talked about for generations to come. Remember that every great story does not have an easy path. Know that we can all get caught up in the Mahomes greatness and how he went to Texas Tech, a Division I college, how he was a first-round pick in the NFL draft, but you also have to remember the entire path and what he's had to overcome. I'm Matthew King, and if you love the NFL like I do, please subscribe. It really does help the channel, and I'm going to give you more stories like this across the NFL all off season.